Anyways, welcome everyone to Southeast Asia NFT Week. Okay, day number 5. This is the final day of Southeast Asia NFT Week, brought to you by Access Blockchain Association of Malaysia, along with many media partners, including Bitcoin Malaysia, Blocklime Talkchain, ETH Grenade, App Media, DeFi Singapore, and Imperium Universe. So today's is going to be really, really interesting. Okay, I'm really excited about having our guests here today. We've covered a lot in the last 5 days, right? Okay, from an artist point of view, from a game developer's point of view, from a comics content creator's point of view, and also discussing the progress and the developers, the development that's happening in fractionalizing NFTs to provide more liquidity to the space. And so, who are our special guests today? Our special guests of today are also the people behind some of the more crypto related events that is trying to bridge traditional money to into the crypto space. So they are the organizers of Crypto Rendezvous Penang that was held before the pandemic, which was to a lot of success and to a very, very niche market, right? They are also the people behind magazines such as Luxuo, right, which covers again, mission of bridging traditional money into digital assets. And that is how Imperium Universe, this local team, is now doing to help local artists to adopt, to launch their collections, and have a successful NFT launch. Not only including artists, but as well as music artists as well. Hence, today I'm very happy, that we have Jason Kwong, Ching Leng, and Matthew, the 3 co-founders, from Imperium Universe today. Hi, guys. Thank you for joining us today.
Hello, Jason.
Hi,
Hello,
Jason.
Jason. Hi.
All right, so let's begin with a quick recap, about NFTs. We had a lot of content throughout the week. You guys are a local team. You are helping artists to get onto NFTs, which is something which can be very challenging. First question, in your opinion, each of you, right? Let us recap. What, in your opinion, are the benefits, see NFTs can bring to artists today?
Okay, let me answer that. Hi, Jason. How are you?
I'm
Artists
very
who
good.
launch. That's good. That's good. Okay, artists who launch an NFT collection have a very effective and new method to connect with their audience and fans. So, firstly, it's its provenance of creator and ownership. These things that used to be a problem in traditional art is easily verifiable with NFTs. Secondly, as we saw with Myth Division a couple of days ago, you can engage directly with your followers instead of needing a big studio or art house to prove your creative work. Okay. Another benefit is the NFT space is very collaborative. So let's say people love derivatives. So if you have someone creating a derivative from your art, you can potentially grow your brand very fast if you're currently not well known. Okay. And for me, it's monetization. NFTs help both artists and collectors make money in 2 ways. So firstly, artists can earn royalties on each secondary trade. This is a game changer and only made possible thanks to NFTs and the blockchain. Second, NFTs have the potential to make your art more liquid. This is very attractive to collectors, and we might see NFTs integrate with DeFi soon, which is very exciting.
Okay, so let's break it down, okay, slowly, right? Okay, because you covered a lot, okay, in just that one, okay, blurb. So you say that firstly, okay, it's provenance, okay, of creator and ownership. Uh, how is this, okay, different, okay, from say traditional art? You said that it's easily verifiable with NFTs. How is NFTs doing it different?
So this one, of course, I think NFT makes it much more easier, much more transparent because, of course, we're using blockchain. So the
Mm-hmm,
technology itself has various applications. One of them is actually in this sense tagging, uh, regardless what medium it is, visual, audio, or even other kinds of mixed medium. So once you're able to tag it on the blockchain, it's immutable, and because
mm-hmm,
it's non-fungible, normally we can backtrace. So if I'm the first creator, someone else can take my work and approach it and redo it, rejig it a bit, but it will be always on the blockchain if a thorough enough search is done that I'm the original creator lah. So that's where provenance goes lah. And as this asset moves from first creator to another owner down the road to the other subsequent owners, you can always trace back lah. In terms of
got it.
even
So
not. Mm,
got it. So when an artist creates an art, okay, for the first time, okay, is minted on the blockchain, and you can actually verify that is this artist who created this piece of art, okay, and any can basically debunk very easily debunk whether
mm,
any other person actually came after that, okay, and copied the artist's work. So it's
yep,
very
yep.
easily verifiable. Then the second thing, okay, you said is that um the by launching, okay, an NFT collection, an artist is able to connect directly, okay, with and do creative work, directly engage with their audience to see whether is that something that they want, and instead of waiting, okay, for an art house, okay, to get approval. The third thing you mentioned, okay, is that the NFT space is a very collaborative space, okay, which
Mhm.
is because when the people, okay, who did this, when you do something in art, okay, it basically when somebody else's works on top of your art, and that becomes more if you are someone who is not that well known, okay, you can get a lot of traction.
Yep, yep.
Now, the third thing, okay, is monetization. Okay, let's talk a little bit about that. Okay, you say that NFTs help both artists and collector make money, right? So NFTs, okay, can help artists earn royalties on every secondary
Subsequent
trade,
sale, yep.
on every subsequent sale. Traditionally, this is a huge problem, okay, because it's not so liquid, but because of smart contracts, that is why, okay, this was that
Mm.
NFTs is so easy to basically create this kind of like relationship from the get-go, and then it trickles down, okay,
Yes,
without
yes.
needing to go through a lot of administrative processes.
Mhm.
So now my second question, okay, for you guys is, so NFTs are clearly like really attractive right now. What's stopping, okay, from, and I'll say a local artist, you've been trying to get local artists, okay, to uh, consider launching an NFT collection. What are the challenges for an artist who is serious to launch an NFT collection? If someone, what are the challenges?
Okay. So the first thing is, of course, we think artists should not multitask, lah, even if they have the capacity to do so. Lah. Uh, Firstly, technical hurdle. So there's many considerations that might overwhelm an artist lah, exploring NFTs, especially if they're not familiar. Lah. If they're really savvy with crypto, it still might be overwhelming because, as you know, lah, our NFT, based on who we've interviewed the last few days, we can change from month to month, like how to mint. Do you do it on OpenSea, which is the easiest, most straightforward route? Do you mint on a local marketplace like Pentas, which has been gaining a lot of traction recently? Or do you mean on the custom smart contract? You get a developer to help you out, do up your own website, engage your own community, acquire a new community with collaborations with existing on past other stakeholders in the scene. So it's very robust, and it changes. A protocol that might be very hot now might become less hot down the road, all that kind of thing. Not only that, then after planning all this, which by itself is a logistical hurdle already, mentally logistical hurdle, the next is you have to ensure that your launch is fair because you don't want people who have more means or more capacity to actually, hoard up all your stuff and after that make a quick buck from it. So you need to make sure it's fair. And then you make sure that this fairness is also communicated to your audience. You need to make sure to know that, okay, hold your horses, don't kanchiong, we will do it properly. This is how it's going to go. And to make them understand it, sometimes you see, I written my rules, but they don't get the rules. Then your community has, they start blasting you and all that kind of thing. So you have to communicate it also. You have to make it very simple, straightforward, because you cannot assume that everybody is your perspective of where you're trying to do it. They might not understand it. They might think that you haven't done a proper structuring. They might think that you didn't put things in place systematically, or you overcomplicated. You have to jump through so many hurdles to do it. So then after that, you still have to manage all your social media channels. After that, you got to engage them, or if there's any delays, because all this minting, sometimes there's a lot of delays. You also might be able to hold them back and say that, hold back the hot at your castle gate and say that it's okay, we are doing it. Hiccups tend to happen, and we need to fix it one by one. We'll rectify it. Don't worry, we know you're all excited, because the excitement is good, but you don't want the excitement to backfire on you, because just as easy as something when it's going well, they can easily turn on you. So if artists are looking at this as a longer term kind of play, you don't want to just make a first project and cash out. You want sustainable community and everyone. You want them to come back. You want them to interact. You want them to give you ideas. So you have to manage it properly. And I think that's partially where we come in. So you can focus on your work. We don't have to. We also see because we've been in the scene for a while, we are also privy to some of the hurdles they face, especially common mistakes. So you don't have to make the mistakes as an artist. We have collectively know some of the mistakes that are being made, and that will actually solve some of the problems.
All right. So a very, very common question, right? Okay, that people ask is that, do all NFTs provide owners full commercial IP rights?
Yep, good question, Jason. This is actually one of the most common mistakes they make. So there is IP rights is not to say it's subjective, but it's a minefield in itself to maneuver. So you might be unknowingly, I don't think most artists genuinely don't look to infringe on copyrights and IP products with IP and patents and all that kind of thing. But sometimes you unknowingly do it. The other way is sometimes not you infringing, but other people are actually exploiting your work for their own benefit. Let's say you mint it, you're excited and you showcase it, early sketches too soon on Instagram and all those kind of things, and opportunistic people will come and this is the work done, and they sell it even before you, or the completed product. Your artistic integrity there is also affected as such. There is also secondary. Your stuff is done, is hot, everybody likes it. There will be fakes and all that kind coming up, likely outed bored apes, bored monkeys. They'll all start coming already. So in that sense, not all NFTs are the same. I'll take, for example, the most recent one, which I think you're familiar with. So Sonar Cats. So it's an episode. It's a webisode by Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, for example. So that one is an access token. So they allow the token holder to be the first to watch Stoner Cat episodes. So that means they are granting you access to watch this. So in that sense, it's a privilege. You're acquiring this token to watch something before something created by content creators, notable Hollywood celebrities, before the public or before they decide to release it, or even never at all. So that is the kind of rights, but they do not give you as the owner of the token commercial IP rights. So you do not own Stoner Cats as an IP. And then it also really depends on the artist, because now the scene is still very flexible. It really depends on what you bundle into these collective assets that you're selling as an NFT. So blockhead punks, for example, which I like. So they do not promise any roadmap or future utility. So this is say that they are saying that this is what I created. You consider a piece of art, and the artist makes it very clear that this is purely an artwork. So, but it is doing well. You can see that the floor price when it was sold, it was 0.1 ETH. Now the floor price is 1 Ethereum, so times 10 already. So it depends on what kind of medium you bundle and what kind of terms you dictate when an NFT is created by you, what kind of rights you entrust to whoever owns the token. And then there is also the NFTs that have future utility. That means they have usage. They are not just a nice piece of artwork that you can admire or you can flex on your Twitter profile and all that kind of thing. So example we saw with mutant apes. So there was a serums, M1 mutant serum, M2 mega mutant serum. So you can turn an existing very popular NFT into an actual mutant of itself, depending even the mutation stages, how much it's mutated. So it creates a whole new NFT. You have a whole new bunch of collectors. So it's still interactive. You don't buy at one creation. That
Got
creation
it.
can morph, and it's very creative in terms of, I think, how they use it by having the serum itself being an NFT.
Got it. So not all NFTs are the same. Okay,
Mhm.
each NFT, it really depends on the creator. What are they promising? Okay, the people who are buying, okay, their NFT
Yes.
can either be an access token, or it can be a token, okay, which gives them full commercial rights, okay, to be creative on top of them, or it could be a token that has some sort of like utility, like for example, mutant apes that then somewhere around the line there's a roadmap, okay.
Mhm.
Then there's also NFTs which don't have any of this. It's just purely art, like for example, blockhead punks that you have mentioned. All right, so okay, so now that we have covered, okay, NFTs, okay, on the broad sense, right? Okay, why should artists, okay, mint NFTs? What are the challenges, and what kind of NFTs, okay, artists can actually mint? So, how should artists choose which blockchain, okay, to mint? I mean, there's like Ethereum, there's Solana, there's Polygon, there's Binance Smart
Mhm.
Chain. There's so many more emerging ones coming out.
There are pros and cons for each, of course. So, for example, Ethereum is the oldest. They're the most secure smart contract blockchain. Most of us know it. Even those who are non-crypto junkies will be familiar with Ethereum. And I think even Ethereum is their first gateway towards, if they're starting from the NFT spectrum of our ecosystem instead of the crypto side of it, or even the technical blockchain side of it. So, for example, if you have an artist who is creating something high value, something meant to have a high collector value, a lot of them still choose Ethereum. Why? Because a lot of eyeballs are already there. Regardless that gas fees expensive, and the high gas fees also actually is a pro. I don't view it as a detriment, because it actually says that once this person made that effort to pay the high gas fees to acquire this art, they will likely be keepers of it. Of course, there are also very affluent flippers who view gas fees as just a bee sting and it doesn't matter. But in general, I think that also, at least that cuts down the rent seekers and all that kind of thing. They actually have to go through, pay gas fees, hold the product, and any transaction or editing that they do in terms of relisting it, resending it here and there to another wallet, is incurs gas fees. So that is actually a good what do you call it, a good guardian in terms of making sure that, okay, if I really want to, I acquire it because I like it, and I only will relist it because, let's say, okay, financially something happened, I want to actually cash out, I have to fork out the gas fees to relist it. Or because, yes, I think the price is right, it has reached my target price as a collector. I've had my fun with it, I've enjoyed it, I've showcased it, I've flexed it, I've showed all my friends that I'm an NFT collector, and then, okay, it's time for me to move on. There's also other things that I want to have a look at. So
Okay.
that prevents flippers. Mhm.
So Ethereum, that is why Ethereum is still a lot of people still prefer to mint, okay, NFTs on Ethereum, even though the gas
Yes.
fees are really high. So when should people consider using, okay, mint NFTs on other blockchains like Polygon, Binance Smart Chain, Solana?
If you want to be a bit more inclusive, or then the Polygon, Solana, and Binance Smart Chains are better because the transaction fees are lower. Also, because the market there are not so saturated, if you want to showcase something, there might be more eyeballs there. There won't be so many things vying for a buyer's attention. So actually, in that sense, and it's also a good platform for you to test, because sometimes you don't know the proportions of what you're putting up are nice or not. You might want to rejig it to have a certain angle. The sound didn't work properly. I want to, because it has an audio file. So it's actually a good test bed also, and it lets you write your ship before you actually upload. But I think because those protocols are emerging, eventually, with all the bridges coming up, people will still move over. So I think it's still a leveling. It will level the playing field, where artwork is good, where artwork is creative, where artwork is not just artwork lah. Any created NFTs, there is interaction, there's a community on it. I think that once the bridges are fully open and they are crossing chains here and there, widely lah. There are bridges now, but they tend to be a bit hard to cross over. It's narrow bridges, I would say. So, but after this process, I think it'll be quite democratic after a while. That it will be free flowing. It'll be free flowing to good artwork, creative things, and also things that are actually make you think lah. Sometimes something piques your interest. Like, yeah, that's something interesting. It might be simple like pixel art. It might be irrelevant. It might be quirky. But as long as it piques interest and people are willing to gather around it, I think that makes sense.
Interesting. Okay, so the next question I would like to ask is, so now that the artist, okay, has selected, okay, which blockchain that they want to mint their NFTs, what comes next? How does an artist, okay, launch their collection so that it is fair? Would somebody else want to take this?
Yep. Personally, I think fairness is still a very subjective matter because this space is still a very early space right now. I think probably less than 10 years and all sort of things. So, but in terms of the fairness that we have seen from the recent launches that we have seen, first thing that we have to look at is basically communication in terms of the rules. So what we do is basically we need to have a good communication with the artists that we are onboarding, go through with them on what sort of a direction that they want to achieve from doing minting this NFT. And once we communicate on that part, we move on to what sort of the informations that will be exchanged between the agency and the artist, so that we both parties are on the right direction in terms of we have a clear understanding on the informations of what we're gonna mint it on the marketplace. And after that, once we sort of like do up the strategy and the planning, we would deliver on the exact the timing that we have agreed on, and then we hope that there will be no hiccups for what when we launch that product up in the marketplace. So I think if these three things that we achieve, these three things, I do consider that this is sort of like a fair launch for both parties.
Okay, so let me help summarize, okay, what you just said for the audience. So number one, okay, the rules need to be clear. Okay, like how many is minted, when is it going to mint, what are the rules, okay, who comes, is it first come first serve, is it is it that there's a pre-sale, is there a sale? As long as the rules are communicated clearly, okay, that's step one, okay, of getting a fair launch. Is that correct?
Yep.
All right, and then the second thing, okay, is to ensure that everybody has the same information. Everybody has the same information, which means that there's no insider, kind of like, who knows something that others don't. That's why they are able to meet first. And I think that happened, okay, quite a lot of highly, the high demand, okay, or hype projects, NFT projects
Yes.
recently, okay, where, people are just standing, okay, waiting in line just to go and mint their NFTs. On the dot, when it happened, somebody basically managed to mint it at the smart contract level when it's not accessible to everyone else. So then people say, "Oh, not fair," right? And then the third thing, okay, is that the team on the ground communicating with the community, if they can deliver their promise, if they can successfully execute, if let's say it's like, I don't know, 6 p.m. launch. If the 6 p.m. launch, 6 p.m. comes, okay, 10,000, okay, is available, 10,000 minted, and everybody play by the same rules, then it's considered a launch. All right, great. Now let's talk about something else. Let's talk about something that because Malaysia still, we don't have that many how do I say, artists who have launched their collection yet. How about, you know, can you share with the audience, each of you, what have been your favorite NFT projects that you have seen up to date and why?
I
Chin
have
Ling,
quite
would
a
you like to
few.
go first?
Yep.
Oh,
Yes,
quite
go
a few,
first, Chin
Jason.
Ling.
Ah.
Chin Ling, go ahead first.
Personally, for myself, I mean, I enjoy playing sports. So some of the NFTs that I'm sort of like a favorite into it is basically like NBA Top Shop moments. So I do acquire a couple of moments from NBA Top Shop. And I'm look forward to like FIFA, which is I think recently have wants to announce on NFT as well for football, which is something that I enjoy playing. Yeah, that's one of my favorite NFT projects that I'm looking forward to see.
That's very interesting because NBA Top Shot is those NFTs are minted on another blockchain called Flow. When you bought those NFTs, how was the user experience? Was it easy?
Well, at the beginning, I think the ecosystem is, I think it's quite straightforward. And it's basically it's I think it's in fairness that the ecosystem is quite easy to understand. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Matthew, what's your favorite NFT to date so far and why?
I really like Stoner Cats. I mean, Colbert is one that shared it with us, and I like anything that's got really sick humor to it. So I find it really interesting that cats that inhale weed can suddenly start talking. So I really like that project. So I've seen the pilot. Colbert shared it over, and I'm hoping that I can see the next episode too.
I am also a fan of Stoner Cats, okay, but before we go further in and into the public Q&A, I just want to reiterate a very important disclaimer, okay, that none of the content shared throughout this session should be treated as financial or investment advice. Okay, all right. So all these opinions, are the speaker's own. Okay, you should use it as a completely free resource. Okay, to help you better understand your learning. All right. So yes, I like Stoner Cats as well, and particular reason why I like Stoner Cats is because it is when you watch the first episode, you would realize that there are a lot of things which typically a studio house would not approve.
We're not
That
allowed.
it's just only a 10-minute video, right? But there's just so much Easter eggs that are packed into that pilot episode, which just hints on what are the things that usually either the studio would not be interested, to basically do this, or they would want to censor it. So it's really, really cool what Solarcast did.
Or even if
Jason, you
they
said you had 3.
Oh, a few. Yes, but Stoner Cats elaborate. Yes, not only will they will or will not allow, they might take time to allow it, and in with that passing of time to clear through red tapes at the production through studios and all that kind of thing, some of the reference might have lost its luster already. It doesn't. It's not poignant enough already by then. Oh yes, I have more than 3, but I think I will just give one because Gun has also taken one of mine, which is Top Shop, because I was an NBA fan since I was a teen and all that kind of thing. Of course, the hype has died down a bit for NBA Top Shop, but I think they are still doing what they need to move on, and I think the hype might it will come back. It will come back. But I also like things that are in the metaverse, where of course there's this Central Land, there is a Sandbox, and Sandbox is one of the ones that intrigue me, in terms of being able to buy land in the metaverse. Which my mom would tell me that, are you crazy for you? Given our times now, why are you trying to buy pixel art? And also now you're trying to buy land in a place that doesn't exist. So even if you show that, yes, a lot of other big entities are acquiring land there, Binance, SCMP, South China Morning Post, CoinMarketCap, the Winklevoss twins, because they want to get the fingers in everything. So it's very interesting in terms of that. And the fact that those land are not cheap makes it even more telling that this is onto something. Of course, yes, whether they build up, flesh out the metaverse, whether it doesn't lag, whether people are there enjoying themselves. But I think what our recent times have taught us that it's inevitable. So we will migrate to the metaverse in some shape or form. And we will be having our fun, our suffering, our the full spectrum of human emotions in that metaverse as well. So if you can own land in a metaverse, you might be the Mayflower pioneers actually staking out land in America or something like that. I don't know. It might or it might not. So, but it's interesting. The very concept of it is quite interesting.
Very cool. Easy Money asks a question. Do you think, okay, that the NFT industry
Frothy.
right now, as it is right now, is a bit frothy and in a bubble? Okay, and how do you help, okay, these local artists who are just coming in to launch, okay, their NFT collections to navigate this? Who would like to take this?
Okay, Gan, would you like to take this, or I'll answer a bit, then you guys can elaborate on. So okay,
First, do you think that we're in a bubble?
we might be in a bubble if the very fact that OpenSea has NFTs that are tulips, selling digital tulips, is already a tongue-in-cheek hint that we might be in a bubble. But I still think mediums, because what is appearing in these NFTs are still visual and audio. So what is being represented is still the same, just like we are seeing even text-based kind of concepts coming to life already. So it's just the medium that is showcasing all these works that's changing. But because it's hype, everyone wants to get a piece of it. They want to jump on the hype train. They want to make something out of it. But I think at the end of the day, the bubble might burst, but the NFT scene is here to stay. Artists, if they have a new platform, new way of showing what they're doing, not just a new way to show a JPEG, but a more inventive way to show a JPEG. Because the NFT scene also allows for more creative input. Artists might be thinking quite linearly. I create this kind of work. I have been doing it for decades. I sell to my sellers. I have my base. But this, by being in the scene, it forces them to evolve. Hey, I might have to be a bit more quirky in my art. I was so serious last time. Why don't I mix in a small GIF into my hand-painted work? So it makes them evolve. The artists themselves will evolve because of NFT. And at the end of the day, talented, hardworking, tried and true, proper creators will still be there. The fluff,
Matthew, what do you think?
the fluff will go away.
How about Matthew? What about you? What do you think? Do you think, okay, that the NFT industry is in a bubble?
Okay, I want to sit on the fence here. In a way, it's a big hype right now. And the artists that we have on board come from different walks. So we have some that are musicians, we've got artists, we've got painters. And we're looking to bring on board, which I think it's going to happen soon, a tattoo artist who is actually quite renowned. And he's Iban, he's from an Iban background. So he actually knows nothing about NFTs, but when we gave him some references to look at, really, really caught his attention. And he thinks, we think that his sort of tribal Iban work can really make a hit. So being very honest, I think yes, we are in a bubble now, and I think it's not going to pop so soon. I think it's gonna snowball a little bit more before it pops. So yeah, I think that's my take on what's going on now.
Chenling, what about you? Bubble, no bubble.
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet at the top.
Not yet.
But bubble forming.
Bubble forming, but I think it's still a good. I think it's not bubble yet. I mean, we're still going into a different space.
Okay, maybe here I'd like to give a little bit of my take. Definitely a bubble. Definitely. When people start buying, okay, stones, okay, which, stone JPEGs, okay.
Invisible stones.
That is, to me, is amazing. Okay, it is amazing. These kinds of things, right? And on the surface level, right? On the surface level, there are also, like loot, what happened last week, okay? Text files suddenly can command a floor price of 5 Ether, 6 Ether, sorry.
Eventually.
Underneath, but where I think, okay, it's really important, okay, as for me, okay, as one who is here educating, right, is that to always ask yourself, what are the fundamentals? Come back to the fundamentals. Why is this important? Why does loot have value? So loot, okay, is valuable, okay, because it is taking a bottom, sorry,
Bottom up approach.
yes, a bottom-up approach as opposed to a top-down approach.
Mhm.
So traditionally, okay, when I say traditionally, I mean like 3 months ago. All right. Traditionally, when people launch, okay, like Bored Apes or whatnot, okay, they launch a collection or an avatar project. They they come with it's a top-down approach. Okay, it's like, okay, here are the NFTs, here's the content, here's what's going to happen, here's a milestone, right, roadmap, etc., etc. Top-down approach. Whereas loot is an on-chain, okay, you know, basically you do whatever you want with it. So it's kind of like is providing the bricks, okay, to the metaverse. So if people don't build on these text files, it's not going to be worth anything.
Mm.
But it's the very fact, okay, that we have, Ethereum's, okay, brightest minds who are understanding this, and they are the ones who are buying it, and they are the ones who are building of it. That is my thesis of, okay, of why this thing can potentially be very, very valuable, and it's showing today.
Number
But then
one also
after that, you saw a lot of
copycats.
loot copycats already.
Yes.
Just like within 48 hours, 72 hours, okay, you see, okay, X loot, M loot, okay, loot this, loot that, right? Okay, this text file, that text file. So you need to be very, very careful. Go back to fundamentals. If you're an artist who are also thinking about minting your own collection, also the same thing. Just don't focus on the bubble, focus on your art. Focus, okay, on what is it that you're trying to achieve, right? If your fundamentals are strong, okay, then I think that's where Imperium Universe, okay, are the people who should speak to. Help. All right. Do you like loot? B loot. Jason, do you like B loot? I do not know what that is. I do not know what that is. Okay. I only have a very high level understanding of what loot is, and I am also following Andre Cronier's, okay, loot project. Andre Cronier, okay, is he has launched something, okay, like just about not even a week old, okay?
Mhm.
And it's based on loot. So he is building something on top of loot, and I'm following that closely, okay? It's on the Phantom Network, okay? You can follow his blog and follow that, okay? It only requires gas fees on Phantom,
Mhm.
which is probably why Phantom also like suddenly,
The prices are stacking up.
everything is down 20%. Phantom is up,
Term is
okay? It's still up. Is probably because the power of Andre Cronje. I don't know, okay? But that is something, okay, that is in my radar. Okay, other questions, okay. So Olia asked same question: when the bubble pop, do you think that we'll still have the same traction or greater hype in the next bull run? Well, this all happens in cycles. Okay, a bubble can hop. The bubble has popped in 2017. We saw that
Mhm.
ICO bull run. Okay, a lot of people promising, issuing tokens, fundraising, and then how many of them survive to today? How many Aves are there? Ave is basically the same era, right? Okay, uh, but then they had to go through the winter. They had to go through the winter, the 2017, 2018, 2019.
Mhm.
Really, really boring times, Uh, before it, it's kind of like quite amazing. Okay, Ave's, okay, journey. If you basically go to CoinGecko right now and you kind of like zoom out, you will see basically a really flat line, okay, in terms of price action. And then, you see, I think
Sudden.
probably 50,000x already right now, Aave. Okay.
Mhm.
So, uh, okay. So we have another question from Facebook user. What's his name? What's his or her name? On Jet Revive, ask this question: how can a musician mint, okay, NFT? So would anybody like to take this question? How can a musician, okay, be part of it if they wanted to launch an NFT collection? Would anybody like to take this question?
Um,
I think it's
musicians are. Yep, sorry, go ahead,
Jason.
Jason.
Go ahead, Jason.
Musicians are in a very special case in that sense that it is not as mature compared to JPEGs and all the kind of visual format, but they can still do a combination. A lot of them are still thinking that NFTs, I have to follow something like a Napster format, or I can bypass music labels and all that kind of thing. But actually, what they can do is use it as a very sharp marketing tool, because other than what you're doing now, releasing on Spotify and all that kind of thing, NFT gives your brand, your what you are about, another very sharp tool to leverage on a different segment. So you don't have to create music per se and sell the NFT. You can create your personas, your avatars, your album covers, your anything, even funky. We see a lot of generative music that sells for also ridiculous prices. So it doesn't have to be a full thing. It can be a hook, a beat, your intro, your outro, your chorus, anything you can pack into it. Yes, down the road, I think yes, it will evolve into where you launch EPs with B-sides and all that kind of thing. But a musician should first establish their brand, whether they are already big shots or all that kind of thing in the music world. They should establish their presence in the NFT scene. So going with, I don't know, branding yourself with avatars, branding yourself as creators, hinting, especially because this scene likes to be teased. So teasing what you're doing, teasing a hook, teasing a beat, all that kind of thing, along with your own created kind of content. You still create content, but you don't have to flesh it out and over worry, should I launch a full-fledged thing? You can always try the waters first. That's why it's called open sea. Go and take a dip in it. Try what you can. They will still go back. You still can go back to say that I am a musician. And the NFT space doesn't definitely need musicians. The metaverse needs musicians. So all that kind of thing. So it's a bit of inserting yourself in first while waiting for other things to grow itself. Because sometimes people, we are worrying, we are creators, as content creators, they are always worried about how do I flesh it out? Do I put myself out there? I don't want to destroy my brand straight away. Then don't go all out first. Do something small, segment it, put it out there. A new fan base might or might not like it, but it's a feedback loop. And then after that, yes, okay, this works, this doesn't work, let's try something else. And same, there's so much input coming in. A musician can still take the same approach. I don't need to keep doing the same things again. I can do something differently. But you also see musicians taking NFTs and entertainers in general, like Stephen Curry, Jay-Z, getting CryptoPunks, getting Bored Apes. So you don't want to just be a creator and put your things out there and just want people to buy them. You should be interactive with the scene. You should be owning something. It doesn't mean you have to own something expensive like CryptoPunks or Bored Apes. You own something that you say, I'm a musician, I create something, I like something created by someone else. I buy what they want. I pimp them, I put them on my Twitter, I bought this. But that's where the synergy goes. That's where the community goes. You like something created by someone else will like what you created. So musicians can go that route.
Okay, there are a couple of questions, okay, about regulation. Okay, what is the role, okay, of regulators in the NFT space, and what is the legality, okay, of NFTs in Malaysia? The short answer right now is that NFTs have gained traction, okay, in the last 6 months, and there have been no regulation clarity, okay, from the regulators yet as to how they're going to regulate NFTs. Okay, John asked the question, if I have minted an NFT on a blockchain, say whether it's Ethereum, Solana, and I did not, okay, get any sales, right? How do I remove it and mint it on a separate chain? The answer is cannot. You cannot remove it from the blockchain, all right? Because once it's minted, it is secured by the blockchain. So it's important as an artist, okay, to be aware, okay, that this is an important decision also. Once you have minted it, okay, it exists on the blockchain, and the only thing you can do is either you can keep it to yourself, or you can bridge it. You can bridge it to another blockchain, right? But it cannot delete it from existence. You can maybe burn it. Okay, you can maybe burn, okay, the NFT, which is not something that we're going to go into today. but something that you can also do. You can burn NFTs. All right. CG says Pentas allows you to burn your NFT and remint it elsewhere. Thank you very much. Okay, for bringing it to that. So with that, okay, we our time is up. I'd like to say thank you very much, okay, to our 3 panelists, okay, from Imperium Universe. Now I know that you are very busy and you cannot share too much alpha, right? But what are the things, okay, that Imperium Universe is working on in the next 3 months? Can you just share a little bit?
In terms of our artists,
Uh, what collections, okay, are you going to be launching in the next 3 months
We can
without
hint.
giving too
a
much
little bit
away?
of tease, yeah.
No, cannot give. Okay
No,
lah.
I'm trying to see if there's a way we can give something out that does not reveal too much. So I'm just trying to tweak my brain a little bit to see how we can actually give a little
Okay.
teaser.
All right. So okay, with that, okay, that brings the end, okay, to our what's that our session today, day number 5. Okay, please do remember, okay, to claim your proof of attendance token, okay, via Discord. Also, okay, do sign up, okay? There are still seats available at the MDEC Blockchain Bootcamp, okay, next Tuesday. Scan the QR code, okay, so that you can learn from Engine, you can learn from Sandbox, YGG, Youth Games, okay, on the 14th of September. That's next Tuesday. Scan, okay, the QR code before the tickets run out, okay? And we'll see you next week, okay? Monday, same time at 5 p.m. for Enterprise Blockchain Week, where we have Ann Chain from Ant Group. Derek Loy will be joining us. Everyone, have a great weekend. Thank you, our panelists. Have a good weekend, everyone. Bye.